Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Teresa. I'm glad to see you joining us again. Today's session, Digital Life in Kitchener, will be led by Dr. Vahabi. This program is made possible thanks to the generous support of the City of Kitchener Rice Fund. Captions are available in Farsi, Tagalog, and English. Dr. Vahabi, please go ahead.
Thank you. Let me share the screen. Hello, everyone. Um, Thanks for joining our um, third session of practical skills for seniors and newcomers, where we want to focus more on digital life in Kitchener and see how we can use the resources available there for us as a newcomers or senior members. So we already discussed this safe and smart online um, subjects, and also had a good uh, discussion on practical AI for everyday life. And today we'll cover the digital life in Kitchener. So we'll start with another story about Sarah, who recently moved to Kitchener with her husband and young daughter. She's excited about starting a new life in Canada, but she quickly realized that there are many things she needs to figure out. She wants to get a library card and find free learning resources. She has questions about her taxes and doesn't know where to get help completing her tax forms. She needs to learn about living in Kitchener, garbage collection, public transportation, and other city services as well. And her daughter needs to be registered for a school, and Sarah would like to find an affordable swimming or recreational program for her as well. Sarah also needs information about healthcare and how to apply for an Ontario health card. She is also looking for newcomer and settlement services that can help her family adjust to life in Canada. Meanwhile, Sarah wants to improve her English, explore educational opportunities, find a local job, learn about community events, and connect with people in her neighborhood. And she started searching everything on Google. But soon she realized she had dozens of websites open and doesn't know doesn't know which website is official, which organization should she contact, and where should she start. So Google search could be very confusing for a newcomer when, like she listed here, when you don't know which organization you should contact for help, and basically where you should start searching and so on. So my recommendation is first come up with a list of um, her needs, and then here's the thing: Sarah doesn't need to know every website in Canada. Rather, she needs to know where to look. Okay, so all we discussed today is we're trying to help you better understand the workflow and better understand the structure of the resources available. So in any condition when you have any need, you you can guess where you should find those kind of information rather than keeping all the websites in your memory and so on, which is not possible. Okay, so The first thing I want to share is a map of trusted starting points, meaning we have a few good, very helpful websites. First one is for those living in Kitchener. The website is kitchener.ca, which uh, provides city services, information about city services, recreation, community information, moving or living in Kitchener, and so on. By the way, in our last year's seminars, we tried to cover this website, um, most of the part of this website. So, if you are not familiar at all, you can uh, find the videos of our prior seminars as well. The other, the other platform where uh, has a lot of good information for you is regional Waterloo, which includes regional services, public health and community, social services, and so on. Then we also have uh, Kitchener Public Library, we call it KPL. So in KPL, we have a lot of information about library services, learning, digital resources available, program, and some community or tax-related assistance, and so on. Then we have ontario.ca, which you can find where you can find healthcare information, provincial services, education, and other Ontario programs. And finally, we have canada.ca, where you can find CRA and taxes, federal benefits, immigration and federal services, and so on. So as you can see, there is a structure starting from your city, then your region of living, then your province, and finally the federal services. Okay. Now, along with that, we have some local settlement employment organizations, which are which could be very helpful for newcomers. I provide newcomer support, English learning, and employment assistance. Basically, this is what the government try to kind of encourage newcomers to start with. They try to encourage newcomers to start with local settlements. Those um, those uh, organizations, let's say, those local settlement organizations are well trained to help new people, to newcomer for their uh, daily needs, especially within the very first few months that people don't know what to do, where to find information, and so on. So we'll look at them shortly, and then we have local school boards, school registration and education, uh, which is separate from uh, regions and city websites. So you don't need to remember hundreds of websites. Rather, you need to know which level of service to start with. Okay. Like I said, we have city service levels, regions levels, province level, and federal level of services. What you need to know is whatever need you have, you should try to kind of guess which level it belongs to, and then directly go to one of these websites as I listed here. Okay. For example, for City of Kitchener, which is your starting point for your local life, Sarah, for example, wants to find a recreation program for her daughter, learn about garbage and recycling, find community events, learn about neighborhood programs, and understand services available to residents. Okay, for these kind of very local city level uh, needs, she can look for uh, those services in kitchener.ca, which is snapshot of it is provided here. Let me share the screen of my people. Then kitchener.ca. So it's a pretty simple uh, website, well organized. You can find some of the very frequent, uh, very frequent needs here. Um, some icons for some of the frequent needs as well, news, all those things. What I like most is here you have a list of all services available here. But before that, let me just quickly introduce here. If you are not very comfortable with English, you can select your own language. Pretty extensive. I couldn't find any language that is not available here. So you can you can select the language you're more familiar with, and then whatever thing you want to do and you cannot find here, you can just search for it. So again, going back to the main menu, let's say, like I said, I mean, uh, there are a lot of categories here, and in any of them, and in each of them, you can find subgroups. Um, so this is a small overview of the website. Now, first thing Sarah wanted to find was finding a swimming class for her kid, right? So, like I said, if you like uh, kind of browsing and finding things here you can do, or you can go to the list and probably you should be able to find it in recreation and sports. So as you can see, there are a lot of uh, subgroups here available, like for example, and listed here as well. Or if you want, you can, for example, open these subgroups, for example, sport and fitness. Now you can see there are different groups and activities here. You can find whatever you're interested in, skating, yeah, what else? Um, rental uh, products. There are a lot of sport programs. Now, if you can find whatever you need, that would be great. If not, don't worry. You can just, like I said, you can search here or here. Either is fine, like swimming class. And it gives you like swimming lessons and programs in Kitchener. And here it gives you whatever you need to know about the swimming classes available, how to where to find them, how to register, what else? Whatever document you need. So swimming lessons, and then you can register for the class. You can find whatever document you need, whatever requirements, everything available here. Okay. So, like I said, you can either search and find what you need, or the other thing I like is this site map, where, again, remember everything was grouped into different categories here, right? And then under each of them, you can find subgroups. All those groups and subgroups are kind of listed here in the sitemap if you want to see. So go to the um, you can go to the sitemap. Then, if you want, you can just Control F and, like, for example, garbage, search in the groups and subgroups yourself. That would be another way, right? So, for example, if you're looking for information about garbage collection and anything about that, you can search this way as well. Okay. Garbage and recycling, yard waste, everything is provided here. Okay, so this is good. Now, the next thing Sarah was looking for was um, community event. Again, like I said, you can go to this main list and try to find, or search, or go to the sitemap. Either is fine. Okay, I myself prefer the sitemap. Something is wrong today. Okay, so if you're looking for a community event, again, I would search myself here, if I click on Control F, and then community events, you can find, or just say events, arts, cultures, and events. Although you can find here different events that are celebrated here, and you can find, should be able to, yes, event calendar. Okay, it's not working, unfortunately, but believe me, it usually works. So you can find an event calendar and a list of local events that could be you could be interested in. You can find everything here. So this is our first point in city level needs, kitchener.ca. Okay. Now let me share my slides again. Now, along with that, we have KP, like I said, KPL, Kitchener Public Library. Um, which provide much more than just sharing books with us. Okay. Like, for example, Sarah wants to improve her English, use a computer or internet, learn new skills, get help connecting with newcomer services, find activities for her daughter, prepare for employment, access books, newspapers, movies, and learning resources, and so on and so on. Okay. So she can find all of these services in KPL system. And um, this is where she can find kpl.org. We'll look at it in a bit. The good news about is your library card can be a free learning, employment, language, and community resources, not just a card for borrowing books. And KPL membership is free for people who live in Waterloo region. Okay, so you can get a free membership card and then go to any of the um, public library exists in the Kitchener area and receive any of the services you're interested in. Let me go to KPL for a demo again. There we go. So Sarah needs to get a library card. Again, same as the kitchener.ca website. We have some more frequent, uh, frequently visited part of the website. Here, listed here, we have um, a lot more, um, but I prefer I prefer this list here. Everything is, again, everything is grouped here, and you can easily find whatever you need. For example, she wanted to get a card. If you go to your account, you can get your library card here. Okay. Um, Sarah also, uh, as a newcomer to Canada, she was looking for English or English classes or newcomer resources and the KPL. So if you go again to this page and services and spaces, you can find English as second language classes and and what else? You can find newcomers to Canada. So there are a lot of resources uh, available here for you. Okay. Um, yeah. So you can find all the resources available here. And there is another thing. Um, let me see here. Virtual. Um, it's LinkedIn. If you're interested in like in a training material or anything that you cannot easily find, you can just, for example, if I'm looking for LinkedIn courses, okay, I can search here and you may find many different uh, many different results for your search. For example, uh, in a PDF format, or if you go to virtual library. So this is a PDF type of training, this in this virtual library, you can find a lot of the again, each of these uh, organizations provide uh, training materials. So if you search, for example, for your LinkedIn, again, you can find a lot of different records of, uh, for example, for your CV, resume, and LinkedIn. You can find a lot of um, training material here. Okay. Most of them are for free. Okay, so this is, let me go back to our um, presentation. This is all about KPL. We can find a lot of, again, uh, helpful resources available there. Next, um, yeah, here is a list of very useful resources. Like, for example, if you want to learn about anything or about improve your English, you can find English conversation circles, which is pretty helpful. You can find English learning resources, IELTS and R test preparation resources, or Mango language and Mori. For job and skill development, you can find LinkedIn Learning, Learning Express for career development and other learning. You can find employment resources and training opportunities. For digital access, you can have free Wi-Fi and computers. You can just go there and borrow a computer or a Chromebook with free Wi-Fi. There are online resources from home as well, and KPL currently also offers, like I said, Chromebook, and some of that can be borrowed by eligible cardholders. That as well, you can borrow it for a few days then. And then for newcomers and families, there are newcomer resources, settlement workers. Like I said, I mean, these settlement workers are very knowledgeable on the needs you might have in the very first few months of moving to Canada, whatever you need to know about it, about your daily life. Free programs and events are available as well. Children resources in many languages, citizenship test preparation also available, and also in entertainment and information like library card can provide access to ebooks, audiobooks, magazines, newspapers, movies, and other digital resources through services such as Libby Download Library, Press Reader, Hoopla, and Canopy, and so on. Now, the next stage is uh, regional Waterloo for services beyond the city. Like, for example, Sarah wants to find public health information, learn about community and social services, um, get information about affordable housing, understand garbage and recycling services, find transportation information, find support for her family. So for these services, she can go to a region of Waterloo.ca. And the thing you should keep in mind is you live in city of Kitchener, but some of the services you use are provided by the region of Waterloo. So, like I said, um, in the region level services, instead of going to kitchener.ca, you can go to region of Waterloo. Let me share the screen for that, have a demo of what we can find. Region of Waterloo. So again, the structure is pretty much the same. Uh, Highly visited part of the website. You can find them here, and um, you can find the sitemap here. But I like these menus very much. Like, for example, if you go to programs and services, you can find new to Waterloo, where is it? New to Waterloo Region, and a lot of good information for um, immigrants that are recently moved to Waterloo Region are available here. Public health services, transit, whatever, affordable housing, and so on. So Sarah wanted to know when her garbage recycling will be collected, right? So if I go to programs and services, there we go, under garbage and organics, I would find a collection schedule, like, for example, garbage tags, yard waste, everything I would like to know about garbages and scheduling, all those type of things could be found here, and also like I showed in the other page. Um, I would find subgroups here as well. So it is the same thing. If you find it, like for example, curbside waste support program here, or find it over through the list, either uh, would be the same. Okay, so this is this. What else? Also, she wanted to get some information about public health. Um, Again, if I go to programs and services, there we go. Here I can find public health, everything like from finding a doctor to uh, dental health to what else? Public health neighboring programs, whatever you might be interested in about uh, healthcare stuff in the level of Waterloo region, you should be able to find them here. So it would be much easier to just go to this page rather than Googling the public health stuff. Okay. So this is this. What else? Um, if again, um, go to the main page, you can, if you can find what you need through the uh, main menus, that would be good. If not, you can search, for example, if I'm interested in Grand River Transit, I would search and it gives me anything, um, for example, about, sorry, I don't know why you're slow today. Okay. So you can either search or go to the programs and services, roads and transportation. Either is fine, either is the same. Go to the, like, for example, transit. You can find Grand Transit here or other sort of um, public transportation stuff, anything you need here. Okay, so this is what I would find in Waterloo region. Let me go back to the presentation. Okay, so uh, in the regions of Waterloo, you can find public health and public health information, vaccination information, dental and other public health programs, finding health-related community resources. You can also find housing and community support, affordable community housing information, housing assistance, Ontario Works and other social supports, family and community services. We had a good discussion about housing and uh, affordable housing last year. If you're not familiar with, I would highly suggest you go back to the video and watch the video of our presentation. There are some good resources for housing, especially affordable, subsidized housing in region of Waterloo. Then you can find good information about transportation, Grand River Transit, GRT system, bus routes and schedules, fares and passes, and mobility services. You can find information about waste and recycling, garbage and recycling information, collection schedules, waste facilities and programs. And now the question is, Sarah lives in Kitchener. Why can't she find everything she needs on kitchener.ca? The answer should be uh, very clear now because, like I said, uh, resources and services are available in the city level. Some of the services are available in the region level. Some of the services are provided in the province level, and some others are in the federal level. So if you're looking for a service, you should try to kind of estimate which level in this structure provide that kind of service, and then you can easily go to the uh, website uh, which provides that service. If not, I mean, you can go to the Kitchener, and then if you can't find it, go to the regions of Waterloo or province of Ontario and so on. Okay. Now, in the next level, we have some services provided by province of Ontario. You can find them on ontario.ca or Service Ontario. Okay. Now, Sarah wants to get an Ontario health card or get or renew a driver's license. Uh, she also wants to register a vehicle when she bought a used car and she wants to register a vehicle. She wants to have access to important Ontario government services and also find information about provincial benefits and programs. Okay, for all these kind of information, she can find them on ontario.ca, this platform. Okay, we'll take a look at that briefly, but um, again, think of ontario.ca as the main starting point for Ontario provincial government services. Okay, now let's quickly browse the ontario.ca. Here, ontario.ca. Here we go. Again, um, You can change your language. You can look for different topics here, same as the other websites. They intentionally try to come up with a kind of similar structure in the website so that you don't need to kind of spend a whole lot of time to understand where to find. Okay, so you can find everything here or the highly visited part of the website. You can find their link here as well. You can find Service Ontario. What else? Topic wise, again, there are you can find different groups and the subgroups here, sort of like the site map I showed before, right? So pretty much the same. I mean, uh, structure wise, they're pretty much the same. So Sarah needs a health card. The question is, what should she do? Okay. I would go to um, ontario.ca. Again, you can either search for it or go to this health card. Again, it is not anything new, rather than the topics available here. Like, so healthcare and wellness is also available here. You can either um, go to this or use this link. They're the same. Okay. So you can go to the healthcare and learn more about the eligibility rules, um, or like, for example, uh, for renewing your card, you can find anything needed, right? Like, for example, the documents you need, the fees, if any, uh, what else? So if you want to apply it online, this is how to do the for renew in person. If you want to go to the office yourself, this is how to do and the documents you need to provide. Everything is listed here. Okay. So this is this. Um, the other thing, yeah, Sarah bought a used car. The question is where she find information about registering it. Okay. So again, you can see here license plate renewal, everything about registering your car, renewing your license plate, everything is found here. You should be able to find it here as well. Um, and also in the sitemap or in the topics, you can find them, um, find whatever you need here as well. Like I said, they are the same. Um, so, like for example, license plate renewal. So here and um, anything again you need for automatic eligibilities, automatic renewal, check your license plate status. Um, yeah, anything you may need about your license plate, you can find it here. With all the information needed here. Okay. Now, as you can see, looks like there is a link between ontario.ca and Service Ontario. Uh, the the sorry, the difference between these two is ontario.ca is mainly providing the information you need, but to do the actual job, you should go to the Service Ontario. Okay. So, uh, if you go to the ontario.ca and find anything, and read that, uh, read those things, anything you need to know about that subject should be there. But to do the actual job, you should go to the Service Ontario. So they made your life easier by making a good connection between Ontario.ca and Service Ontario. So you don't need to think whether you have to go to Ontario.ca yourself or go to the Service Ontario. No, you don't need to be worried about it. You should go to Ontario.ca and search for anything you need and get the information. For doing the actual job, there is a link there which directs you to the Service Ontario automatically. Okay, like here. So this is this. Now, if for any reason if you cannot find a register, you can search it here. Register vehicle. Like I said, you can. Here we go. Register a vehicle. Again, you can find anything you need. Buying, for example, a used car, then this is the process how to buy a used car, how to register your vehicle. All the rules are here, and and the link to do the actual job is also provided. So this is this. Let me go back to the presentation. Um, there we go. In the Ontario.ca, you can find information about health card and healthcare, uh, who qualifies for the health card, how to apply for a health card, what are the required documents for the application, how to replace or renew a health card, and find healthcare information. Related to the driving and vehicles, you can find information on driver license information, for vehicle registration, for license plate services, for driving testing, for driver testing information, and so on. For family and education, you can find about information about childcare, school and education, Ontario student assistance, and provincial programs and benefits. And there are other services as well, like, for example, for birth, marriage, and death certificates, for changing the address, for provincial IDs and documents, and so on. Anytime you change your address, you have to go there and update your address, and the IDs required. So here's what I said. The difference between Ontario.ca and Service Ontario is what I just explained. Service Ontario is to do the actual job. Uh, so, for example, Sarah wants a health card. What she can do is she can go to Ontario.ca, learn about the OHIP, uh, check about the eligibility, and find the required documents, everything needed for doing the job, and then determine how, where to apply. And then in the Service Ontario, uh, she can uh, apply for that based on whatever she already learned. Okay, so this is this. And the next level of services are federal government services available. For example, Sarah wants to understand her taxes and find tax help. She wants to apply or manage her SIN. Um, SIN number. She wants to learn about the government benefits. She needs to find immigration and citizenship citizenship information, and she needs to access federal employment resources as well. Where she can find this information, she can go to canada.ca. We'll browse it quickly, but like I said, uh, think of canada.ca as the main starting point for Government of Canada services. Okay, this is this. Let me just quickly take a look at canada.ca. Um, here, okay, select English. Again, highly visited part of the website are here. You also have a menu with a lot of different groups and subgroups, same as our websites. And like I said, I mean, highly visited part of the website. They are kind of listed here as well. And you can find the sitemap as well. So Sarah has never filed a tax in Canada and doesn't understand the forms. She can afford an accountant, and the question is, can she get help for that? Okay, so there is, um, they call it CVITP, Community Volunteer Income Tax Program, which is available. I'll show you where to find it. But it is for people with low or modest income and simple, kind of typical um, tax needs, okay, tax situation. If you want to find it, you can go to the taxes and then uh, income tax, because it is for personal or individual. So personal income tax and help others with their tax. There we go. They call it free tax clinics. Okay. Where here you can find any information about these free tax clinics. Like I said, I mean, there are groups of volunteers that are available for people with low or modest income, and they freely help you kind of understand different parts of the tax forms and how to file a tax form for yourself. Okay, so here um, you can start the job or by understanding whether you're eligible for that or not. And if yes, you can find a free tax clinic close by. If it works, yes, it works. Good. So um, you can easily find whether you want to go to the clinic yourself or you prefer a kind of virtual appointment or what the type of the clinic, and then you can select the, like for example, the province you live in and the city, uh, and then return prepared, like is it for the current year only, or like for example the current year and last year and so on, and then the language and search, and it gives you a list of uh, clinics available for you to reach out and ask free help for your tax stuff. That's pretty cool. Now, the other thing is, yes, Sarah needs a SIN. Uh, Let's see how she can get this one. So again, you can either go to this services available here, or like for example, search like for SIN. There we go. It gives you a list of different uh, pages. And the first one is what I was looking for. SIN apply. Now you can find anything you need to know about applying for SIN. When to apply, how, who should apply, and you may be able to apply online. For any other question, you can just send a message to them. Sarah also needs to, okay, yes, she also needs to learn about the child benefits. Um, Again, like I said, I mean, you can either go to the pages. I, I'm trying to kind of, or go to this menu and find whatever you need. And like I said, I'm trying to diversify the different ways of finding information, child benefits. Okay. Um, there we go. Canada child benefits. So on this page, you can find anything needed about uh, anything about the child benefits available for you, how to apply for that, the documents needed, eligibility, all those type of things are provided here. This is this. Let's go back to our presentation again. So what services are available here? Taxes and CRA, income tax information, CRA my account, tax deadlines, benefits and credits, information about getting help with taxes. For benefits, you can find Canada Child Benefits or GST, HST credits, what else? Employment insurance, other federal benefits as well. You can find the information about your social insurance number, apply for SIN, update information there, learn when you should and should not provide your SIN, learn about immigration and citizenship and the services available there for you, for permanent resident information, immigration applications, citizenship application status and the official forms. And also for jobs and employment, you can find them in the job bank. We'll take a look at that. And about the employment insurance and employment and training information, all available in canada.ca for you. Okay, so this is the map I showed you before. Now I guess you have a better kind of insight on where you can find the services you need. Again, for the city level services, go to kitchener.ca. For the region level services, go to regions of Waterloo. For province level services, ontario.ca. And lastly, for the federal services, go to canada.ca. So you can see that here that you don't need to remember uh, hundreds of websites. You don't need to Google anything, which gives you tons of different pages, which could be confusing. Rather, just keep an eye, just try to kind of guess uh, this, which the service you're interested in, belongs to which level, and go directly to the website I listed here. Okay. Now, uh, this is the rule. If you're new to Kitchener, you don't have to navigate everything alone, right? Like for example, Sarah has many questions like how do I find housing? Where can I get help finding a job? She just, like I said before, she just recently moved to Canada, to Kitchener area, and has all these questions. Where can I improve my English? How do I register my child for school? How does healthcare work? How can who can help me understand forms and applications? And how can I meet people and become part of the community, right? For all these questions that you might have within the very first few months of moving to Canada, the first point of contact is settlement worker, as I emphasized before, right? So go to immigration Waterloo Region.ca, and we'll take a look at that quickly. I have time. Um, Here's the thing: when you don't know where to start, just go to the settlement worker. Their job is to help you find the right service. Okay, so if you go to the immigration Waterloo Region.ca, you can find a list of settlement workers. These are the ones that are highly recommended. For example, if you reach out to Kitchener Waterloo Multicultural Center, they can help you on settlement assistance. Settlement assistants are available. They can help you on employment and career support for translation and interpretation. They can also help navigating everyday newcomer needs. Or if you go to YMCA of Three Rivers, again, they help newcomers uh, for almost everything, including employment supports. Okay, so this for the due to the lack of time, unfortunately, we cannot browse this page. But the other topic I wanted to briefly talk about today is finding a job in Kitchener-Waterloo region. We had some good discussion on uh, how to apply, how to create a good resume, um, how to apply for a job, what else, how to uh, attend an interview, the tactics for good tactics for kind of negotiation, everything. We had a few different sessions last year, discuss all these things. So if you haven't attended in our seminars, or if you want to refresh your mind, I would suggest you find the videos of the last year sessions. But today, I don't want to go back to them again. Rather, I just want to briefly explain, give you some information on where you can find jobs in Kitchener Waterloo region. Okay, like for example, Sarah is ready to work, but the question is, where can she find local jobs? Can someone review her resume? She has work experience from Iran. How should she present it in Canada? Can she get help if English is a barrier? Are there free employment services? For these kind of services, you can just go directly to Job Bank, or uh, let me just quickly browse the Job Bank. This is a very good platform. You can find your job. Or here, if you're a newcomer to Canada, you can find a lot of good information on how to find a job and so on. So um, I will leave it to you, but let's go to find a job. Here you can, like for example, if you're a nurse, if Sarah is a nurse and wants to find a job in Kitchener, for example, you can search. You can also add some more filters, like for example, the distance, the maximum distance uh, acceptable to you, or like for example, type of the job, uh, or hours of work. You can add some more filters. Like for example, if she only wants to find part-time job, okay, you can filter. So uh, using these filters, it narrows down the list, and then you can find a list of jobs available in Kitchener within this distance, uh, a part-time nursing job available in the Kitchener area. So this is this. Um, you can also um, what else? Uh, show you this one. You can also go to kitchener.ca. In any of the pages I uh, showed you before today, you can find jobs. So you can use any of them. Um, usually in any of these pages, you can find good, let's say, training resources and also the available jobs in the area. Okay, so this is good for job finding. Like I said, you can go to job banks. You can go to kitchener.ca job page. You can go to region of Waterloo.ca and find the jobs at the region. You can go to ontario.ca and search for jobs and employment. And also you can go to canada.ca and find the jobs. Okay. Lastly, you can go to immigration, uh, Waterloo Region.ca and find the Work in Canada page. Okay. This is for job finding, local job finding. The last thing I want to discuss a little bit today is school and education in Kitchener, Waterloo. Again, we had a session discussed about the education systems in Canada last year. If you need to learn more, I would suggest you watch the video. But uh, very briefly, Sarah needs to register her daughter for school. Um, she needs to find out which school her daughter should attend, find English language learning opportunities for herself, and explore adult education and training. Also, she wants to understand where to ask for help. Okay. Uh, so one thing to remember is school registration is not done through the kitchener.ca. So don't spend a whole lot of time find anything on kitchener.ca on that. Rather, uh, depends on the uh, depends on the type of school you're interested in. You can find them here. If you're looking for publicly funded school, you should search for Waterloo Region District School Board or WRDSB, Waterloo Region District School Board. If you're looking for English language Catholic school systems, you should search for Waterloo Catholic District School Board, WCDSB. Okay, so if you Google it, any of these keywords, you can find a page for that and find the information. Unfortunately, I cannot uh, uh, demonstrate, have a demo of that today, but pretty easy. So uh, Sarah also wanted to find some education for adults. For that, you can go to immigration or Waterloo Region.ca and look for language learning and education. You can find a lot of good resources out there for you. And although I didn't list it, but I guess I showed you before in kpl.org. Under services and spaces, you can find a lot of good information, good training materials for English as second language or French as second language as well. So you can use these resources. Um, uh, Sorry again for uh, the time, and thank you for joining. Next session, we'll discuss more about banking, government and services, and digital trust, and the differences between trust and wills, and things we need to know about these services. Thank you again, and hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Vahabi, for today's informative session on digital life of Kitchener. We also sincerely thank you, the City of Kitchener Rise Fund, for their continued support of programs like this. We look forward for seeing everyone for our next session, Banking, Government Services, and Digital Trust on September 12. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.